welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. Today we will be doing my homework, the rest of my homework for week 2. This is going to be difficult, but I'm going to make it work with as much. I'm going to follow direction and make it work with as much as possible. I'm going to make it work as much as possible. So let's get started. 9:11, 9:29 is probably going to change to 9:30. It's 12:29 over there in the East Coast. Let me get the charger. I didn't even see that. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to go to the University of Phoenix. Give me a second, you guys. First things first, we're going to finish the peer review. Now let me go here. My nose is always shiny. Jolly on St. Nicholas. Let me see if I can play that on my. Let me see if I can play that on. Oh no, that'll ruin the show. I'll write it down. Play it on a piano. Okay. Okie doke. Present, share screen, mute website notifications while sharing, allow. Boom. So now we got our discussion. I don't need to see that. We're going to go all the way down to the beginning. Who was first? Somebody that haven't. They replied. Peer-reviewed literature is composed of literature that the scholars have referenced in a journal in a concentrated area of study. Well said, Tammy. As this process of collecting work of other scholars, the publisher's website for the journal should indicate whether the articles go through a peer-related process. Accessing the articles are scientifically valid and meet the higher standard of quality. Peer-reviewed literature is important to the research community because the accuracy of... Before I go to you, Tammy, hold on. I have to do something. Back to you, Tammy. Where you at, Tammy? There you go. Accessing the articles are scientifically valid and meet a higher standard of quality. Peer-reviewed literature is important to the research community because the accuracy of educated scholars' works that support your point of view or argument bring legitimacy to your individual research. Research needs to be compared, analyzed, and tested. All vital components needed to be presented amongst your peers. As practitioner, having credible evidence, as a practitioner, having credible evidence-based research to back my topic or hypothesis to help to discover new diagnosis. Offer alternative methods can help beneficial in prevention of disease by lifestyle changes. Target populations that have predisposed genetic makeup and the demographics of those mostly affected. Urging with those practitioners who are experienced and access care to save lives. Deal with both the long and the short-term goals to accomplish cultural competence so that customs are respected and observed. To work with others who practice giving the best care quality, meeting all ethical standards such as integrity and fairness. As the bridges the gap peer review scholarly literature of my colleagues, as this bridges the gap of peer reviewed scholarly literature of my colleagues. Okay. Reply. I can work with this. Okay, it's faster for me to read quietly. No, it is, but it's smarter for me to read out loud. What's under the hood? The mechanics of leadership versus management. Published in Supervision, October 2018. Complementary index. Believe it or not, there are great rare individuals in this world who work, who describe themselves as great managers. Focusing on enterprise and on the enterprise's revenues, this professional tends to be a master at organizing a workforce and meeting or exceeding annual profit projections. Typically, great managers have stocked their their reputations, if not their careers, on maintaining bottom line results for the betterment of the organizations. While perhaps losing sight of commonly accepted business truth, it's all the members of any workforce who ultimately make things happen. A great manager, more often than not, runs the risk of labeling a org by subordinates for orienting dedications to the monthly P&L statements. A ogre? Is that ogre? Is that how you spell ogre? Let me look. Let me look. Where? I thought so. Where are we at? Yet there are others out there who would scoff at the manager qualifying themselves as a class of good leaders. Typically, good leaders sacrifice micromanagement of the bottom line in favor of macroscopic understanding of the enterprise. Its associates, and strategic direction. While I'm reading slow trying to understand this because they got some big words in here. While it has never been conclusively proven leaders to produce lower profit than managers, they do tend to create more inspired, more empowered associates willing to serve it to the ends of the earth, and leaders are significantly less likely to be deemed a workaholic, a ogre, or boss monster by their associates or colleagues. Despite arguments to the contrary, there are fundamental differences in the philosophical approach to management versus leadership. While the differences are not definitive as night and day, they do draw a unique cross contrast with one another while also complementing related competencies. Okay, leadership. Visionary. Articulate in strategic direction for the enterprise in a clear and compelling manner. Let me make sure I have, okay. Compelling manner. The leader fosters relationships founded on trust and respect with all stakeholders, not just the shareholders of the organization. Professionally, a leader dissects the business situation with a view of the future while maintaining a firm grasp of the enterprise's current elements, product line, corporate philosophy, workforce. Remaining true to the core and functional competencies necessary to support the vision. The leader understands the associated perspective and only endorses action that integrates the associate's need. With the knack of prophecy, a leader investigates, recommends, and implements activity in appreciation of the enterprise with appreciation of the enterprise and the associate's interests. Personally, a leader understands the present staff is, even today, learning by doing. They are collectively taking steps in the direction of becoming the productive workforce they ultimately will be. A leader sees beyond the immediacy of decisions, exercising the ability to often predict the effects of actions, policy, and even words. In order to maintain status as a prophet, a leader keeps up with current industry research and best practices in hopes of benefiting the enterprise with such knowledge. Additionally, the leader will seek out self-improvement opportunities in order to meet personal career objectives. Let me write this down. Why is that so? Hey. leadership. Collaborator. The leader sets the example and leads through it. This has been called collaborating with the vision. By doing so, the leader demonstrates a clear understanding of the strategic direction, enterprise, and aligning work and personal behavior with that vision. In such a way, a leader develops an organization and corporate culture that encourages, supports, and rewards individual and team achievements. In addition, a leader surrenders the self to the squad, collaborating at all times with associates to help them, adapting her management style to the unique needs of individuals. A leader displays an understanding that uh, truly meritorious effort should be spent on eliminating barriers to superior associates' performance. He or she engages willingly in coaching, feedback, recognition, brainstorming, and mentoring in order to maximize the enterprise's results. Lastly, the lead, success, the successful leader defies limitations. She works effectively not only with her immediate work group, but also those outside formal line of authority in order to accomplish any enterprise goals. I'll be right back, y'all. Uh, my allergies is bothering me. Demonstrating a charismatic self assurance of ideas, judgments, and capabilities. A leader tactically influences others within the enterprise through participation in all processes and decision making. The goal is elementary. A leader seeks an organization that supports individual and team achievement, and therefore she works at a building sustaining group cohesion through mutual trust and respect. Once the enterprise has its professional dynamic, the leader manages to it. To accomplish the challenge of creating unity, a leader will provide his enterprise with the vision, direction, and inspiration necessary for its continued longevity. He or she maintains good rapport with all departments of the enterprise, and he or she gets to know in great detail the people and resources that can provide assistance. Negotiator. Ever focused optimist during tough times as well as the good. A leader espouses one guiding premise: change. It's the new corporate religion. As someone once said, the past is only reference, not residence. The leader reacts and adjusts positively to new ways of accomplishing tasks. First and foremost, on the leader's mind is making tough decisions that ensure associate satisfaction and department efficiency. To that end, most leaders willingly serve as self-fueled process improvement think tanks or change agent specialists developing imaginative solutions to solving problems. Critical to the leader's perspective is his or her ability to enhance existing processes and procedures that ensure associate satisfaction and department efficiency. Setbacks are inevitable and therefore embraced rather than shunned, for it is only in failure that we learn. That's true. However, I say that all the time. However, because risk persists, the leader will not sacrifice common sense or sound business judgment solely for the sake of change. Serving as a catalyst for positive organizational turbulence, a leader will assist managers and associates in responding effectively to new circumstances in the workplace. Management, captain. Displaying energy and initiative, the manager develops and applies personal knowledge of the business, products, systems, and technology to advance the enterprise agenda. This applied knowledge will not only include industry specifics, but will also involve applying industry terminology, paper flow, and structure to the problem solving, communication, training, implementation. Additionally, successful manager will often interpret laws, regulations, policies, procedures, that impact positively or negatively the associates in order to ensure a productive workforce environment. Accepting feedback and criticism professionally and constructively, the manager assumes ownership for work by setting priorities and utilizing department resources. Not only does the manager add economic value through the strategic use of the enterprise's programs and practices, he or she understands and applies corporate procedures and department standards to consistently produce error-free results in a timely manner. He or she ensures the team is striving to overcome obstacles before seeking support. Analysts. Possessing seeing analytical skills coupled by grasp of enterprise budget, the successful manager works diligently to gather current or accurate information about situations and technology. Without it, the manager cannot and will not make educated decisions on behalf of the organizations. Before engaging a course to action, the manager will conduct an in-depth analysis of the written requirements and specifications in order to determine which course will deliver maximum results. Additionally, he or she uses this information to drive his or her learning as well as nurturing the business continued success. After carefully After careful review of all the collective data alternatives, only then will the manager make a timely decision. Understanding talent is what makes any department efficient. The manager analyzes, designs, recommends, and administers a fair and equitable reward system to attract and motivate and retain qualified associates. Focusing on potential business opportunities, the successful manager understands differences and similarities between an individual, department, and enterprise goals. Like a war course, the manager endeavors to accomplish all of them, applying knowledge and training support whenever whatever the need. His or her emphasis will remain on the client. Understanding the needs, the manager will take actions necessary to integrate or balance them with the enterprise's products and strategic directions. At all times, the manager will use whatever resources are appropriate to identify the issues, plan work, eliminate concerns, resolve problems, and make the necessary adjustments to reach optimum performance. In determining key personnel to driven team, fill out a results driven team, a manager analyzes department needs, selects the best qualified candidates, and assigns tasks based on skills and abilities. Reaching out of the sphere and influence, the manager will also organize, gain the involvement, and manage diverse work groups or task force to achieve a specific product or enterprise goals. Controller. For the manager, an accurate picture of the enterprise profitability can be achieved through careful consideration of the details comprising typical business activity. This examination starts with the basic, a review of common elements of success, and it extends all the way of determination of obstacles to performance in the workplace. By demands of work performed to the best of any associate's ability. A manager's primary A manager's primary objective is simple: meeting or exceeding professional, enterprise, task force, or departmental goals through an exhaustive examination of data meant to identify the most critical components of exemplary performance. The successful manager recognizes trends, inconsistencies, deficiencies, and impact. He or she will never lose focus of monitoring results. Controlling resources, including employees. And modifying business activity to better achieve a project plan. However, the manager always demonstrates sensitivity to the impact change of the individuals who are aiding the achievements. The successful manager identifies client problems and maintains ownership until the issue is fully resolved, providing the client with detailed follow-up. Those issues that fall outside the manager's sphere of influence are appropriately escalated to the proper department staff. While management and leadership do have their philosophical differences, they both share the common element of attaining goals. If the goal becomes the team's destination, then the method, management versus leadership, is the journey. There are many roads available to the successful professional in today's competitive world. The strategies and practices that ensure success are limitless as workplace technology continues to evolve faster than any time in our history. Clearly, what sets on managers apart from others, whether he or she chooses to lead, manage, or combine the best elements of both disciplines, most needed for optimal results. These are so tiny. Abstract. The management versus leadership comparison is recognized instructional tool is a recognized instructional tool in leadership pedagogy. I'm about to look that up. I never heard of that word. Like other leadership concepts, this two-factor model has history of the controversy concerning the extent to which the terms are independent of each other and how inclusive the model is in describing various types of influence. This paper explores these deficiencies and explains how the two-factor model, by introducing additional concepts of administration and operations. Keywords: management, leadership, administration, operations. Most management educators now agree that leadership is both skill and a behavior that exhibits a skill. The comparison of a skill and behaviors linked directly to the process of management and those more closely associated with the process of leadership is an accepted tool in leadership pedagogy. Although many leadership theorists believe there are distinct differences between the concepts, the two terms are interchanged so often that the differences have become blurred. This confusion has, so you don't have to actually quote them. You don't have to put the quotes. You can just put their names next to it. It don't have to be a quote. Okay, I'm getting this. This confusion has reduced the accuracy and precision of leadership and management research. The definition of these terms have become an issue as there appeared to be. Hold on, y'all, man. Ah, I hate my allergies. Hey, allergies. The definition of these terms have become an issue, as there appear to be as many ways as to defining management and leadership as there are researchers in this field. If you can't define leadership and management, you can't measure, test, make an assessment, or hire or promote for them. The term management is to handle, whereas management is the process of getting things done through other persons. A leader is a person who is followed. However, leadership is the process of influencing activities of an organized group towards goal achievement. The opportunity for confusion is apparent. This paper explores the problems associated with the model and expanding it to be more inclusive for leadership pedagogy. Changes in management leadership perspectives. Modern management instructions routinely aided by stressing and understanding of basic functions that make up the management process. The functions of management accepted by the academic community have changed as management research has progressed. In 1916, Fayol created a list of four primary functions of management: planning, organizing, staffing, and controlling. As management research evolved, the functioning directing was added. So it would be planning, organizing, staffing, controlling, and directing was added. And many management textbooks of the 1970s dissected the subfields of management into planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Changes in societal norms and expectations were accompanied by the development of human resource specialists. HR personnel began assuming a greater share of responsibility for recruiting, hiring, transferring, promoting, and terminating employees. Scholars eventually dropped staffing as one of the functions of management when it became more a specialist responsibility. Progressive management techniques caused researchers to take a critical look at the comparatively hard term directing. Advances were made in leadership research. The function of directing was replaced with a softer term, leading. By the 1980s, many management books were structured around the four accepted managerial functions of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. This breakdown was still common today. A summary of changes in the functions of management can be found in Table 1. The opportunities for confusion between the two terms is apparent when the research when discussing the differences between management and leadership is considered alongside research identifying leadership as a function of management. Support the inclusion of leadership as a function of management, claiming that leading is not a specialized phenomenon nor an entirely distinctive activity, but simply an aspect of managing. Conversely, Plachy, 2009, insists that leadership is not a wiser posture than managership, or a substitute for managership, or a kind of managership. Leadership is increasingly ambiguous subject in business school curricula, a theme of popular business books, a topic for academia practice and research. Numerous descriptions of leadership have been created by these researchers. A well-known and relatively short list of leadership practices was created by Coles and Paulsner's 1987. They describe 5 fundamental practices which enable leaders to get extraordinary things accomplished. These practices served on the basis of leadership practices and inventory, an assessment tool widely used in the leadership training. Their leadership practices are model the way, inspire the shared vision, challenge the process, enable others to act, encourage the heart. An accepted leadership concept of the early 20th century was a one-dimensional continuum between leader behaviors described as being task-oriented and those that were more people-oriented. It was acceptable to describe someone in a simplistic terms of being a task manager or a people person. Few modern researchers continue to think in these terms. Bryman, 1992, referred to leadership and management as two sides of the same coin. Plachy, 2009, suggested that managing and leading from a continuum, one to the other. He felt concepts fit together neatly. This one-dimensional philosophy was challenged in the 1950s by co-worker scholars at Ohio State. These pioneering researchers separated a concern for a task and the concern for relations into two separate behaviors capable of independent measure. These findings became the basis for various two-dimensional grids used in other leadership theories. Important Important additions have been made to the two-dimensional theories as leadership scholars build on the origin model. Euclid 2004 created a tridimensional leadership theory, identifying the important concept of change to evolve into the new dimensional apart from either task relations. The task versus relation comparison has evolved from one-dimensional The task versus relations comparison has evolved from one-dimensional continuum to numerous two-dimensional theories to expanded multi-dimensional concepts. If expanding our knowledge of tasks and relations have been beneficial in advancing leadership pedagogy pedagogy, the same is true for the concepts of management and leadership. May be true. The two-factor model of management versus leadership is dichotomy that provides some insights but oversimplifies a complex phenomenon. The teaching of management versus leadership. Encourages stereotyping of individuals. This oversimplification is recognized as scholarly interests dif- in differentiating leadership from other related phenomena such as management is growing. Scholars realize there are additional ways of describing the skills and behaviors of influencing people that are not contained in the two-factor model. This paper asks the question, if the task versus relation comparison can be expanded to increase the understanding of leadership, why can't the same reasoning be applied to management versus leader? The two-factor model is deficient in the ability to adequately describe the types of influence. An initial step in this process is to investigate what is known in existing literature. Management versus leadership literature review. Management and leadership have been found to be quantitatively different and mutually exclusive, requiring different skills and personality traits. Tor and Ofori concur, claiming management and leadership are entirely different functions based on their underlying philosophies, functions, and outcomes. They believe leaders and managers are not the same, and many people, excuse me again, I'm having hay fever right now. I took my Benadryl, I took my nose medication, and nothing is helping. So excuse me just one more second, y'all. I'm not playing. I'm not doing nothing illegal or nothing crazy. I really have, like, my nose is running. So yeah. I guess because it's raining outside, I dust my house and I clean up, but it's because of the rain and the temperature. I don't know. Anyway, they believe leaders and managers are not the same, and many people just know intuitively that leadership is different from management. Cotter insists that it's unusual for one person to have the skills to serve as both an inspiring leader and a professional manager. He also found a tendency in large organizations to set leadership skills aside in favor of managing the workplace. Researchers have often looked at personal characteristics as a means of differentiating between the two groups. In comparison to managers, leaders have been found to be more emotional and oriented to the future, more flexible, innovative, and adaptive, and more inclined towards movement and change. From a communicative perspective, leaders are more frank and participative than managers, and more multidirectional in their influence with followers. Managers have been described as more scientific in nature, structured and deliberate in their approach, authoritative and stabilizing in their behavior, and persistent and tough-minded in their routine. Because managers favor order and efficiency, a managerial orientation seems to be more appropriate. When when the external environment is relatively stable and managing efficient operations is critical. Change oriented people, leaders, seem more appropriate in times of environmental turmoil when it is necessary to make strategic changes to deal with opportunities and threats. Another view of management versus leadership comparison deals with the similarities between the two terms. Platsky believes leaders and management are kindred spirits who believe in the same visions and values. Northhouse 2007 stresses that both leadership and management involve influence, working with people, and effective goal accomplishment. Although researchers view leading and managing as distinct processes. They do not assume that leaders and managers are different types of people. The similarities between management and leadership create a functional overlap. Management functions potentially provide leadership, and leadership activities potentially contribute to management. Numerous scholars point out that leadership and management are interrelated and sometimes perform a similar function and achieve the same goals. However, there are different and distinct goals. In real life, hard management can be combined with soft leadership to provide the best of both worlds. Today's organization needs both kinds of people, managers and leaders. This is very true at all levels, from first line supervisors to executives. A more credible view is that people can use a mix of leading and managing behaviors, expanding the two-factor model. The influence concepts of timelines and personal choice identify the inadequacies of the two-factor model. Plachy, 2009, believes that the decisions to manage or lead depends on whose needs are demanding at that moment. The decision to manage or lead depends on whose needs are demanding at that moment. Aiden and Levitin, 1975, concluded that leadership is in the mind of the follower. A basic premise of intrinsic leadership theory. Intrinsic. I don't know what intrinsic is. Inherit. Inherit leadership. People are more likely to voluntarily follow someone if they believe to be competent, and that judgment of competence can vary with time. A judgment of competence can be based on the follower's perceptions of the leader's specific acknowledgement and abilities. Two potential areas such as knowledge and abilities are administrative or operational process. The term administration has many definitions, but the practice of implementing policy answers.com is a brief and appropriate for this application. The term operations refers to systems that transform input outputs for greater value. Operations are the main reasons organization exists, that an organization exists. The justification of existence of the enterprise. Millet, 1967. The addition of concepts of administration and operations of the two-factor model of management versus leadership creates new possibilities for explaining influence. One method of understanding these additional influence considerations is to look at various types of ineffectiveness due to efficiencies in the two new areas. Figure 1 is a visual representation of the four-factor model, which may be helpful in understanding examples. I can't even. Okay. Visual representation in an expanding four-factor model, which we have an understand example. Management leadership plan. I'm gonna write this down. Okay. Example one: weak administration skills, administrative skills. Mary is the new simple superintendent for the local public school district. She is well organized and many practices many good management skills. She is considered charismatic, inspirational, and good leadership skills. As a successful former teacher, she is experienced in the operational portions of the public education. Mary's weakness is in the areas of administration. She was hired from out of state without any experience in the union environment. She has poor knowledge of what state laws governing public schools and a poor understanding of the two union contracts with teachers and staff. She has made inaccurate comments in public and exercised poor judgments in executive meetings. Her credibility with the community and school employees is poor. This is weak administration skills, weak operational skills. Bill is the manager of a local manufacturing plant. He's considered a well-organized person with many desirable management attributes. He is an inspirational speaker, constantly challenging plant employees with his successful leadership style. He has created an efficient administrative network to keep abreast of new policies. Bill's weakness is limited understanding of the plant's manufacturing process. His previous career in sales only required a superficial understanding of how the product was manufactured. Bill has very little credibility of his organization, from the hourly employees on the production floor to his corporate bosses. Excessive concern for the administration. Jane was proudly well, Jane was recently promoted to manager of the purchasing department. She worked her way up through the organization without benefit of a formal education. Her personal perspective on the position caused her to spend inordinate amount of time worrying about the minor details of her department. This procedural compulsion leaves her too little time for activities such as budgeting management, challenging supplier quotes, leadership, or improving department efficiency operations. Jane has less influence with her company than her peers who exhibit more balanced perspective on job responsibilities. Excessive concern for operations. John has been the manager of the department for many years, reminiscent of when the department was much smaller. He insists on doing a great deal of routine engineering work. This preoccupation with operations causes his other influence areas to suffer. He spends too little time on planning, the management, developing his new employees, leadership, or keeping up with his new company policies, administration. John is viewed as old-fashioned manager who prefers operational activities more than pertinent responsibilities. His influence in the company has diminished over the years. Conclusion. Okay. Weak administrative or operational skills can reduce a person's ability to influence others. Excessive time spent either of these areas can also have a detrimental effect on the ability to perform well in other areas. In addition, okay, I get it. Yeah, yeah. In addition to the traditional management versus leadership comparison, a balance between the administrative and operational areas is needed in order for a person to influence, in order for a person of influence to be most effective. Strengths in one area of influence may not be able to make up for deficiencies in another. Kapowski claimed that vision without structure, leadership without management, is likely to result in chaos, while structure without vision, management without leadership will result in complacency. The introduction of administration and operations create additional considerations. Structure and vision without knowledge and policies, administration may result in oversights. Structure and visions without accomplishment, operations may result in decreased competitiveness. The need to clarify the different types of influence factors is becoming more apparent. Misunderstanding between the concepts of management and leadership may cause organizations to face difficulties in efforts to develop the right talent for the right job. Making these types of staffing decisions without proper regard for administrative and operational concerns could be just as harmful. One solution to the problem lies in developing more inclusive leadership pedagogy, which pedagogy means the principles of teaching, strategies, techniques. Where am I at? Why did I do that? Leadership teachings. The paper is a pilot study, an invitation for instruction and scholars of leadership to consider expanding the two-factor model to include administration and operation. This paper is a pilot study, an invitation for instructors and scholars of leadership and leadership to consider expanding the two-factor model to include administration and operations. Discussing the skills and behaviors of these two additional concepts can improve leadership teachings, pedagogy, or pedagogy, or pedagogy, which means teachings. Future leadership students in the organizations they influence may benefit from the efforts. Future leadership students in the organizations they influence may benefit from the efforts such as expansion. Start from the beginning. So go back, read the following articles. Okay, this is going to be hard. But at least I got Chat GPT to give me some information. Okay, go back. Credentials and affiliation. Go back. And affiliation. Let's see. Let me read this. This is who is this? Okay. Oh man. Use APA format for in-text citations and rushes. Use of in-text citations. Use APA formats for in-text citation. Let me make sure. Uh, is it peer review? Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. It's a trade publication. And is this one peer reviewed? I think the other one is peer reviewed. Hold on. Zimmerman is peer reviewed. Zimmerman is trade publication. So let's do this. Zimmerman trade. Yeah. Somebody is cooking. I love it when they cook. Peer review. What? Comment on author's use of scholarly writing. Peer review. Scholarly writing. Article contains the language of discipline in a formal academic tone. Trade article contain the language of the industry, including technical or professional jargon. Supporting evidence. What is the supporting evidence? Value as a doctoral research. Okay, let's bring you back on real quick. Where am I at? Very high and recommended scholars research needs from part two. Okay, in over 100 words. Now we're gonna look at the first one, look at the second one. I want a cheeseburger. Don't do. It's like the more, I won't say that. Okay. Both articles address the same topic, leadership versus management. And in at least 100 words, write about the insights you can gain from comparing the two sources' research value. How will you apply these insights to in your doctoral research? These both of these resources were pretty cut and dry. You had the Zimmerman, which was a trade publication, by the way, talking about hold up, hold up, wait a minute. Okay, okay, okay. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Is it after? Yeah, it's after. This was leader. Let me drink my water, the rest of my water. Damn it. Copy and paste. Ooh, I've been putting that wrong. Let me go back up. Okay. I'm almost there, y'all. Why didn't it? Ugh. Where is it at? Damn it. Oh, it did. Okay, I'm finished. Delete this. Okay. Um, Taking a break after this. I told you I was going to be long. That's why I didn't go to the gym. Hi, file open. Okay. No. And I got two more references to put, which are view assessment, Zimmerman, P, let's do poor first. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, element of P. Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Hold up. Let's go back. Let's go back. Because I don't think I think that that's the wrong site. APA second edition. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, element of P. Q, R, S. Zimmerman. Go back. Site. Q, R, S, T, U, V. Okay. Okay. We're going to save that file. Save as data 711 U2 RJ 2. We're going to keep you open just in case. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, everything submitted. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days to complete everything. So I mean that's a plus, having 4 days to complete everything. I mean, if he wants us to complete things on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that's 5 days. I'm okay with it. That was tough. I'm getting the fuck off of University of Phoenix. Oh snap. Okay. So, oh my God, I told you it would be 3 hours. I told y'all. I told y'all. Whew. Okay. So a sister about to go to Taco Bell. A sister is hungry. I don't want no chicken and rice. I want some Taco Bell. I cantina bowl. Ah, so I deserve a cantina bowl. So other than that, thank y'all for rocking with me for 3 hours, man. I usually don't be on here 3 hours. But it's gonna get longer than that as the time progressed with the subject at hand that I announced to y'all yesterday. It's just plausilistic. That's not even a word. Seriously. So and after a while, after like 4 or 5 hours, stuff start booting off. Like stuff start booting me off of the network or the streaming network. So yeah, but my allergies went away. So look, I'm about to get off of here. I'll be back on here later. I've been on here with y'all for 3 hours and 6 or 5 minutes and 6 seconds. So yeah. Thank you for staying with me. I'm about to go to Taco Bell. Take care, be safe, and I'll see y'all later. Thank you. Love you guys.
Never waste my time.